Halo Tuhan.
Shalom everybody.
Apa kabar selama seminggu ini?
How are you all this
Luar
past
biasa?
week? All great?
Luar biasa. Amin. Kita mau buka di 1 Korintus 3 ayat 7.
I'm going to open 1 Corinthians
3 ayat
3
7.
verse 7.
Yang bawa Alkitab boleh buka.
Those who read the Bible, you can open your Bibles.
Ya. 1 Korintus 3 ayat 7.
1 Corinthians 3 verse 7.
Ya, itu AMP ya. Good. Saya akan tolong baca.
Okay, I'll read it. So then neither he who plants is anything, nor he who waters, but God who gives the increase.
Boleh kita baca dari ayat sebelumnya juga.
Can we read from the verse before?
Tunggu sebentar. Ayat dari ayat 6. 6, 7.
6, 7.
Ya.
Okay, 6. My job was to plant the seed in your hearts, and Apollos watered it, but it was God, not we, who made it grow. 7. The ones who do the planting or watering aren't important, but God is important because He is the one who makes the seed grow.
Amin. Seringkali kita dalam kehidupan sehari-hari, ya kita dalam kehidupan sehari harus belajar dan harus bekerja.
Often in our daily lives, we have to learn and we have to work.
Dan mungkin dalam mengerjakan satu pekerjaan atau proyek,
While working on a project, on a job,
kita berhasil mengerjakan sesuatu.
so we have succeeded in doing something,
Yeah.
finishing something.
Terus pada hasil akhirnya kadang-kadang kita berpikir, wow, kita hebat.
And the final result, we were like, wow, we're so good at this.
Aku bisa melakukan hal yang luar biasa.
I can do such incredible things.
Aku bisa mendapatkan pujian dari atasan atau boleh mendapatkan nilai yang bagus. Wow, hebat banget.
I can get praises from my boss and I can get awesome scores. We're so good. I'm so good.
Itu karena aku kerja keras loh.
It's because I work hard, you know.
Tapi jangan lupa sebenarnya dalam setiap hasil akhir itu ada faktor X sebenarnya.
But don't forget, in every final result, there's always a factor X.
Kita boleh aja kerja keras
You can always work hard,
dari pagi sampai malam,
from early in the morning to late at night,
kadang-kadang sampai begadang,
or even through the next morning again.
atau kita punya bakat yang luar biasa,
Or we have an incredible talent.
atau kita berpikir itu natural karena hasil effort kita.
Maybe we think it's natural because it's in our effort.
Tetap aja ada faktor X-nya.
But still, there's an X factor.
Kita ada satu contoh yang bagus, yang luar biasa
There's one really good example
dari Rut 2 ayat 1 sampai 23.
from Ruth 2,
Panjang tapi kita nggak apa-apa, kita punya waktu, kita baca sama-sama.
from Ruth 2,
Ayat 1 sampai
1
23.
to 3.
Rut 2 ayat 1 sampai 23.
Okay.
Ya. Kini bisa tolong baca pelan-pelan.
Huh?
Rut 2 ayat 1 sampai 23.
Ruth 2 from verse 1 to 3.
Ya.
Now there was a wealthy and influential man in Bethlehem named Boaz, who was a relative of Naomi's husband, Elimelech. One day Ruth said to Naomi, "Let me go out into the fields to gather leftover grain behind anyone who will let me do it." And Naomi said, "All right, my daughter, go ahead." So Ruth went out to gather grain behind the harvesters, and as it happened, she found herself working in a field that belonged to Boaz, the relative of her father-in-law, Elimelech. While she was there, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you," he said. "The Lord bless you," the harvesters replied. Then Boaz asked his foreman, "Who is that girl over there?" And the foreman replied, "She is the young woman from Moab who came back with Naomi." She asked me this morning if she could gather grain behind the harvesters. She has been hard at work ever since, except for a few minutes rest over there in the shelter. Boaz went over and said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, stay right here with us when you gather grain. Don't go to any other fields. Stay right behind the women working in my field. See which part of the field they are harvesting, and then follow them. I have warned the young men not to bother you. And when you are thirsty, help yourself to the water they have drawn from the well." Ruth fell at his feet and thanked him warmly. "Why are you being so kind to me?" she asked. "I'm only a foreigner." "Yes, I know," Boaz replied. "I also know about the love and kindness you have shown your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. I have heard how you left your father and mother and your own land to live here among complete strangers. May the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge, reward you fully." "I hope I continue to please you, sir," she replied. "You have comforted me by speaking so kindly to me, even though I am not as worthy as your workers." At lunchtime, Boaz called to her, "Come over here and help yourself to some of our food. You can dip your bread in the wine if you like." So she sat with his harvesters, and Boaz gave her food, more than she could eat. When Ruth went back to work again, Boaz ordered his young men, "Let her gather grain right among the sheaves without stopping her. And pull out some heads of barley from the bundles and drop them on purpose for her. Let her pick them up, and don't give her a hard time." So Ruth gathered barley there all day, and when she beat out the grain that evening, it came up about half a bushel. She carried it back to town and showed it to her mother-in-law. Ruth also gave her the food that was left over from her lunch. "So much!" Naomi exclaimed. "Where did you gather all this grain today? Where did you work? May the Lord bless the one who helped you." So Ruth told her mother-in-law about the man in whose field she had worked. And she said, "The man I work with today is named Boaz." "May the Lord bless him," Naomi told her daughter-in-law. "He is showing his kindness to us as well as to your dead husband. That man is one of our closest relatives, one of our family redeemers." Then Ruth said, "What's more, Boaz even told me to come back and stay with his harvesters until the entire harvest is completed." "This is wonderful," Naomi exclaimed. "Do as he said. Stay with his workers right through the whole harvest. You will be safe there, unlike in any other field." So Ruth worked alongside the woman in Boaz's field and gathered grains with them until the end of the barley harvest. Then she worked with them through the wheat harvest too. But all the while she lived with her mother-in-law.
Amin. Cerita yang sangat luar biasa,
So incredible story
and also romantic story.
and also a romantic one.
Siapa sih sebenarnya Ruth ini?
So who is Ruth actually?
Mungkin di sekolah minggu udah pada tahu,
Maybe those in Sunday
atau
school
yang nggak pernah sekolah minggu saya
or maybe
cerita
not
sekarang.
Sunday school will tell us right now.
Ruth itu adalah seorang wanita Moab,
Ruth is a Moabite.
ya. Dia bukan orang Israel.
She's not Israel.
Waktu Naomi waktu ada saat kelaparan besar di Israel, Naomi sama suaminya Elimelech pergi ke Moab.
So during a very great hunger, very great time, Naomi and the husband Elimelech
Mencari kehidupan yang lebih baik di sana karena kelaparan terjadi di Israel.
migrated to Moab because Israel had a really, really great time.
Ya, Ruth punya 2 anak laki-laki.
Ruth has 2 kids, they're both boys.
Dua-duanya dapat istri orang Moab,
And
wanita Moab.
both got Moab as wives.
Nah, di perjalanan waktu,
And after some time,
Elimelech suaminya Naomi meninggal.
so Elimelech, Naomi's husband, passed away.
Terus 2 anaknya laki-laki juga meninggal.
And these 2 boys also passed away.
Saya nggak di Alkitab nggak dibilang apa itu kecelakaan atau sakit atau apa, pokoknya meninggal.
The Bible does not say whether it's an accident or it's a sickness, but just passed away.
Nah, tinggal sekarang Naomi sama 2 menantu perempuannya.
So now there's only Naomi and 2 of the daughter-in-law.
Ya. Terus yang satu namanya Oprah, yang satu namanya Ruth.
One is Oprah and one is Ruth. 2 daughters-in-law.
Benar nggak ya?
Let me check what is right.
Ya bisa baca sebelumnya.
Orpa.
Orpa.
Orpa, not Oprah Winfrey. Orpa.
Oprah itu beda.
Yeah.
Oke, terus
Orpa and
ya. Terus siapa namanya Naomi tanya sama kedua menantunya ini.
Naomi asked these two daughter-in-laws.
Menantuku,
My daughter-in-laws,
sekarang kalian udah, maksudnya anak-anak saya udah meninggal. Sebenarnya kalian bebas untuk menentukan hidup kalian selanjutnya.
now my children are already dead, so you are free to choose your own way of life.
Kalian boleh meninggalkan saya karena saya mau kembali lagi ke Israel, ke Bethlehem, tempat kelahiran saya.
So you can leave me because I am planning to go back to Bethlehem.
Karena kelaparan di sana udah selesai dan keluarga saya ada di sana.
Because my family is there and there's no more hunger anymore.
Kemudian Orpa bilang ya udah saya kembali ke keluarga saya kalau kayak gitu.
And then Orpa said, okay, then I'll go back to my family.
Karena dia udah bebas karena suaminya udah meninggalkan, dia sekarang seorang janda dan tapi dia boleh menentukan pilihan hidupnya selanjutnya.
Because Orpa's husband has already passed away, so she's allowed to go and be free and can go return to her family.
Tapi Ruth, menantu yang satu lagi,
But Ruth, the other daughter-in-law,
bilang sama Naomi begini.
told Naomi this.
Naomi, saya ini kan sudah menjadi bagian dari kehidupan kalian.
Naomi, since I have already become a part of your life,
Saya akan ikut kemana kamu pergi, Naomi.
I will follow you wherever you go.
Tanahmu menjadi tanah saya.
Your land becomes my land.
Allahmu menjadi Allahku juga.
Your Lord becomes my Lord too.
Saya ikut dengan kamu.
I will follow you.
Kemudian mereka pergi kembali ke Bethlehem.
And then they both go back to Bethlehem.
Tapi di sana ternyata semuanya sudah berubah banyak.
But over there, everything has changed.
Naomi sudah nggak punya apa-apa lagi.
Naomi has nothing anymore.
Karena waktu mereka pindah dari Bethlehem, mereka sudah menjual semuanya.
Because when they moved from Bethlehem, they have sold everything.
Jadi sekarang Ruth sebagai menantu, dia berinisiatif
So Ruth, as a daughter-in-law, she had the initiative
untuk mencari, ya katakanlah kalau zaman sekarang pekerjaan, tapi mencari makan untuk dia dan mertuanya.
So she took the initiative to find food, to find a job, so he can feed both Ruth and herself, Naomi and herself.
Ruth terus pergi keluar dan mencari gandum-gandum yang jatuh gitu.
So Ruth went out and tried to find some grains that have fallen down.
Karena kan dia bukan pekerja.
Because she's not a worker.
Jadi dia ngambilin gandum-gandum yang jatuh di ladang.
So she's taking all the leftover grains in the field.
Ya. Tapi nggak tahu dia itu ladangnya siapa.
And she doesn't know whose field that belongs to.
Tapi dia masuk aja, mungkin dia permisi mau ngambilin yang jatuh-jatuh di
But
bawah.
she's just like, excuse me, can I just come and take the leftover grains
Ya.
from your field?
Ruth melakukannya itu dari pagi sampai malam.
She did this from early in the morning to night.
Alkitab menceritakan bahwa dia kerja nggak ada henti-hentinya.
The Bible says she has never stopped working.
Dia bekerja keras.
She worked very hard.
Dia setiap yang ada jatuh diambilin jelai-jelai gandumnya.
So every time there's something falling down, she just takes it.
Ya, sehingga dia bisa mempunyai ada yang bisa dibawa pulang.
So she can actually bring home some.
Tapi kan belum tentu kalau jelai-jelai yang jatuh itu jatuhnya banyak.
Yeah, but we don't know, we're not sure that there's a lot of grains.
Mungkin ada 2, 3 sampai 5. Tapi itu kalau dibuat jadi makanan ya belum tentu jadi berupa makanan.
There's so few that we don't even know whether it will become food when you try to cook it.
Jadi dia ambilin gandum-gandum yang jatuh itu sampai dia pikir mungkin bisa bikin jadi satu roti.
But she estimates as much grain as she takes until she imagines that you can build a bread.
Itu imagine-nya.
That's the imagination.
Makanya dia nggak berhenti ambilin gandum-gandum itu yang jatuh supaya ada makanan di rumah.
But she never stops picking up this grain just to make sure she has food on the table every night.
Nah, datanglah yang punya ladang.
So here comes the guy who owns the field.
udah tahu ceritanya di sini namanya Boas.
Now this guy, you know the story, is Boaz.
Boas, saya nggak tahu di sini diceritain di Alkitab apakah dia seorang yang sudah mempunyai keluarga apa belum.
There's no story in the Bible that whether he has a family or not.
Tapi yang saya percaya di sini diceritakan adalah dia adalah seorang pemilik ladang yang kaya.
But definitely he is the owner of a field and he's rich.
Dia baik, dia memperhatikan semua pegawai-pegawainya.
He's very kind. He looks over his employees.
Soalnya waktu dia datang ke situ ke ladangnya itu, pegawainya langsung bilang bless you, diberkatilah engkau Tuhan.
Boaz, when he comes to the field, then all the harvest workers say bless you.
Terus dibalas lagi sama Boaz, bless you too.
And Boaz says bless you too.
Nah, waktu Boaz lihat Ruth,
and when Boaz looks at Ruth,
ya nggak mungkin dong Boaz datang sebagai bos terus dia cuma datang sekelas gitu. Pasti dia akan juga lihat pegawai-pegawainya siapa aja.
So Boaz doesn't just look for a while and go back, but Boaz looks very carefully at each and every one of the workers.
Terus tanya, perhatiin mereka, apakah mereka baik-baik aja.
And looks at them, are they okay? Are they well?
Sampai satu saat dia lihat, loh, kan ada satu wanita yang bukan pegawainya.
And one day he realized there's this one lady who's not one of her workers.
Terus dia tanya sama salah satu pegawai, siapa itu?
And then he asked one of the workers, who is that?
Yang pasti mungkin Ruth cantik kali ya.
And maybe Ruth was very pretty.
Sehingga bisa menarik perhatian.
And he got his attention.
Ya enggak, itu cuman
It's just romantic story.
Ya. Terus bos tanya sama dia, siapa itu?
Boaz asked, who is that?
Terus pokoknya bilang, itu orang Moab, itu menantunya Naomi, tapi dia orang Moab, dia ikut ke sini.
So that's the daughter-in-law of Naomi, and she's a Moabite from Moab.
Karena suami udah meninggal, tapi dia ikut ke sini.
But she follows him here.
Dan dia dari tadi pagi minta izin bahwa dia mau minta gandum-gandum yang jatuh.
She has been asking permission to pick up all this leftover grains from the morning.
Oke, kata Boaz.
Okay,
Nggak masalah.
no problem.
Terus dia panggil Ruth-nya.
So then Boaz called Ruth to come over.
Dia tanya sama Ruth, kamu ngapain di sini?
And then Ruth asked, so what are you?
Kamu siapa?
Who are you?
Ya itu mah pertanyaan normal kan?
That's a normal question.
Ya. Dijawab sama Ruth, ya saya gini.
So then Ruth answered, I'm blah 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 blah.
Ya. Terus ya udah, kalau gitu kamu mungkin karena Ruth orangnya kelihatannya nggak kecentilan gitu.
Maybe Ruth was a normal
Kecentilan.
Flirtatious.
Not flirtatious, just a normal girl like this one from you.
Kelihatan gitu. Kelihatan Richard semuanya.
And looks very kind.
Ya. Inner beauty kali ya.
It's more of an inner beauty thing maybe.
Ya.
Uh,
Ya dong, wanita Allah itu punya inner beauty yang oke
so
kan.
ladies have very good inner beauty, right?
Sure.
Sure. Jangan lari kemana-mana. Kita akan membuat satu ladies afternoon.
Don't run away because we're going to have a ladies afternoon.
Inner beauty.
Okay.
Kalian juga metro seks.
Guys are also welcome.
Good. Terus Ruth Boaz bilang sama Ruth, oke, kamu boleh ambil yang seberapa kamu mau.
So Boaz said, okay, sure, you can take as much as you want. The leftover grain.
Ya. Terus kalau misalnya ada yang jahilin kamu, cowok-cowok kasih tahu sama saya.
So whoever, any guy makes fun of you, tell me.
Saya garanti protek kamu.
I guarantee your protection.
Ya. Siapa juga mau jahilin cewek, maksudnya kalau kecentilan iya, tapi kalau cewek normal biasanya sih cowok-cowok nggak mau gangguin kan?
So who wants to tease a
Atau doa.
kind girl?
Jangan ada tujuan. Oke. Ya. Terus akhirnya Ruth lanjutkan kerja. Sebelumnya Ruth tanya, aduh dia terkesan banget. Boaz, kenapa kamu kok baik banget? Tuhan kok baik banget? Waktu itu bilang, Lord kok baik banget kamu sama saya.
So Ruth asked, why is Boaz so kind? Why is God so giving me such blessing?
Terus Boaz jawab sesuai dengan apa yang tertulis dalam Alkitab.
And then Boaz answered,
Ya, saya udah dengar tentang kamu.
yeah, I have listened. I know about you.
Kamu ikut ke sini.
You came here.
Kamu tinggalin keluarga kamu
You
di
left your
sana
family over there to live here.
untuk merawat mertua kamu di
To take
sini.
care of your mother-in-law.
Kamu menantu yang sangat baik.
You're a really great daughter-in-law.
Dan ya kamu juga nggak kecintilan, kamu cari cowok-cowok muda
Yeah, you're not
sesuai
like
dengan
those
kamu,
girls that tries to look for a new.
tapi
fresh
kamu
man.
tetap berbakti kepada apa
Fresh boys.
Oke. Dua kali. Ya, oke. Jadi saya mendapatkan kesan yang baik tentang kamu.
So I got a very good impression of you.
Jadi kamu boleh bebas di sini.
So you can be free.
Kamu boleh makan siang di sini sama pegawai-pegawai saya yang
You
lain.
can even have lunch with us, with my workers.
Ya. Oke. Itu gambarannya, singkat cerita.
So that's the picture in summary.
Saya percaya bahwa dalam setiap cerita dalam perjanjian lama
I believe that in every story in the Old Testament,
itu menggambarkan tentang hubungan Allah sama kita.
it shows the picture between our relationship with God and man.
Ya. Sama seperti Ruth yang kerja dari pagi, siang dan malam, dari pagi sampai malam,
Similar to Ruth working from early in the morning till late at night,
dia mendapatkan favor dari Boaz,
she got favor from Boaz,
sehingga dia bisa mendapatkan banyak gandum sehingga dia bisa bawa pulang,
so that she can bring even more grains,
sehingga ada makanan di rumah.
and then therefore we have always food at home.
Boaz itu seperti menggambarkan Tuhan Yesus dalam perjanjian baru.
Boaz here shows how Jesus is like in the New Testament.
Kadang kita pikir bahwa kita itu punya keberhasilan itu karena kita layak mendapatkan.
Sometimes we think, when we get success, it's because of us. Yes, we did it, so it's only me.
Ya, tapi jangan lupa dalam setiap proses bekerja keras itu pasti ada faktor X yang saya bilang tadi.
But don't forget it. Every success of working hard, there's always a factor, an X factor.
Dan faktor X itu adalah favornya Tuhan.
And that X factor is the favor of God.
Entah kita belajar dengan keras,
But no matter how hard we study for the exam,
entah kita bekerja dengan keras,
and no matter how hard we work,
dan kita mendapatkan hasil yang bagus,
and we get a good result in the end,
tetap ada favornya Tuhan.
there's always God's favor.
Waktu kita belajar, kita mendapatkan hikmat. Waktu kita bisa mengerti apa yang kita pelajari,
When we study, we get wisdom on how we understand.
itu
whatever
adalah
we study.
favornya Tuhan.
That is God's favor.
Waktu kita bekerja, kita mendapatkan attention dari bos kita.
When we work and we get the boss's attention, our boss's attention,
Itu adalah favornya Tuhan.
that's also God's favor.
Banyak yang orang yang kerja keras dan sampai frustrasi, tapi nggak punya faktor X ini.
A lot of people have been working very, very hard, but it's always frustrated because there's no X factor.
Iya. Di dalam Mazmur 127 ayat 1 dikatakan,
Psalms 127 verse 1
bisa kita lihat
says,
sama-sama. Di situ dikatakan bahwa
it says over there that
Mazmur 127 ayat 1.
127 verse 1.
Kita bisa, yang punya Alkitab boleh buka dulu.
Bibles with me, you can open them too. I will read it. Yeah.
Ya.
Unless the Lord builds a house, the work of the builders is useless. Unless the Lord protects a city, guarding it with sentries will do no good.
Tapi kadang-kadang mungkin ada terlintas di pikiran kita, banyak juga yang nggak kenal Tuhan, banyak juga yang nggak anak Tuhan, banyak juga yang nggak hidup dalam Tuhan itu mereka berhasil.
Maybe sometime the thought came to my mind that, those people who don't believe God, those people who don't trust God, they are still successful now.
Memang betul,
That's true.
tapi
But
kita punya konteks ayatnya
we have this verse in
Oh.
context.
bahwa Tuhan itu juga memberikan matahari dan bulan, bintang, hujan dan sebagainya untuk orang yang nggak kenal Tuhan juga.
And that God has already given the sun, the moon, the stars, the rain, the sky, the clouds to everyone, to people who
Di
believe.
dalam Matius 5 ayat 45 dikatakan
In Matthew 5 verse 5,
bahwa Tuhan itu menurunkan hujan juga buat orang baik dan orang jahat.
it says that God gives rain to everyone, to all the good guys and bad.
Karena otoritinya Tuhan adalah kasih.
Because God is love,
Kasihnya itu berlaku untuk semua
this love
manusia.
is good for all
Manusia. Tapi yang membedakan anak-anak yang di dalam Tuhan dan bukan di dalam Tuhan adalah,
the difference between people who are with God and those who
kita
are not.
baca dulu yang Matius 5 ayat 45.
So let's go back to Matthew 5 verse 5.
Baca, ya.
Oh, by verse 45. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. For He gives His sunlight to both the evil and the good. And He sends rain on the just and on the unjust too.
Jadi Tuhan nggak bisa maksudnya kasih, misalnya ada dua rumah tetanggaan, yang satu anak Tuhan, yang satu bukan anak Tuhan.
So there's two things in God. The neighbors, and one is those who believe in God, and one is not.
Terus saat itu kering kerontang dan perlu hujan.
And at that time, they really wanted rain.
Tuhan ya bisa aja kasih yang anak Tuhan hujan lokal.
So God can actually just give just one rain to the believer.
Terus yang satu lagi dibiarin, jadi hujannya lokal cuma sebelah sini.
And the other one more rain, and also just like one
Bisa
side.
aja, Tuhan punya kuasa. Tapi Tuhan nggak seperti itu.
Yeah, God can do that, but He chose not to.
Bagaimana orang yang tidak percaya bisa jadi percaya bahwa Tuhan itu ada, Tuhan itu baik buat mereka juga.
How can the unbelievers then believe
Kalau Tuhan hanya menurunkan hujan lokal?
if God has only poured the rain down on the believers?
Ya, tapi ada special privilege buat kita sebenarnya.
But there is a special privilege for the believers.
Saya juga mau cerita sedikit tentang, bukan cerita sih, tapi saya mau kasih tahu juga hasil boleh aja sama, maksudnya orang-orang di luar Tuhan itu juga berhasil.
So this is what I want to tell you something that it's also true that other unbelievers can be successful.
Tapi yang harus kita selalu ingat adalah hasil akhirnya.
But we always have to remember the final result.
Contohnya seperti di Matius 13 ayat 24 sampai 30.
Matthew
13 ayat 24 sampai 30.
25.
Coba Kenny bisa baca.
Okay.
Kalau udah ditayangin
I will read it once it's not black.
ya.
Okay.
Matius 13
Matthew 13 verse 24
24 sampai 30.
to 30. Okay. Here is another story Jesus told. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. But that night, as everyone slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat. When the crop began to grow and produce grain, the weeds also grew. The farmer's servants came and told him, "Sir, the field where you planted that good seed is full of weeds." "An enemy has done it," the farmer exclaimed. "Shall we pull out all the weeds?" they asked. He replied, "No, you'll hurt the wheat if you do. Let both grow together until the harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds and burn them and to put the wheat in the barn."
Terus dilanjutkan ayat 36 sampai 43.
And 36 to 47. Then leaving the crowds outside, Jesus went into the house. His disciples said, "Please explain the story of the weeds in the field." "All right," he said, "I, the Son of Man, am the farmer who plants the good seed. The field is the world, and the good seed represents the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people who belong to the evil one. The enemy who planted the weeds among the wheat is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the harvesters are the angels. Just as the weeds are separated out and burned, so it will be at the end of the world. I, the Son of Man, will send my angels, and they will remove from my kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. And they will throw them into the furnace and burn them. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the godly will shine like the sun in their Father's kingdom. Anyone who is willing to hear should listen and understand.
Ya, terus kita juga bisa baca di dalam
Then we can read again in
Amsal 23
Proverbs 23,
ya, ayat 17 sampai 18.
17 to 18. Okay?
Ya.
Don't envy sinners, but always continue to fear the Lord. For surely you have a future ahead of you. Your hope will not be disappointed.
Terus dilanjutkan ayat pasal 24
And then 24,
ayat 19 sampai 20.
19 to 20.
Dikatakan di situ jangan iri.
Do not fret because of evildoer. Then 20.
Ayat 19 sampai 20.
Do not fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for their evil have no future. Their light will be snuffed out. My child, fear the Lord and the King, and don't associate with rebels, for you will go down with them to sudden disaster. Who knows where the punishment from the Lord and the King will end?
Amin buat firman Tuhan.
Amin. Word of God.
Jadi nggak usah iri sama orang yang di luar sana yang berhasil.
So don't be jealous of those unbelievers who get success.
Karena keberhasilan kita yang sebenarnya adalah mengenal Tuhan Yesus
So our real success is knowing Jesus
dan kuasa kebangkitannya
and His power of awakening
yang bekerja di dalam kita
that works within us
waktu kita bekerja,
when we work,
waktu kita belajar
when we study
di muka bumi ini.
on the face of this earth.
Seperti yang Paulus bilang dalam Filipi 3 ayat 8.
Just as Paul said on Philippians 3
Tiga.
verse 8.
Ya, katakan situ, coba kita baca.
So let's read. Philippians 3 verse 8.
Ya.
Yes, everything else is worthless when compared with the priceless gain of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord. I have discarded everything else, counting it all as garbage so that I may have Christ.
Dan mengerti bahwa Tuhan sangat mengasihi kita
We should understand that God really loves us.
dan mau memberkati kita dalam segala hal
He wants to bless us in every single thing
sampai kita bertemu sama Dia dalam kemuliaannya.
until we meet Him again in His glory.
Jadi kita baca ulang lagi 1 Korintus 3 ayat 7,
So we read again 1 Corinthians 3 verse 7.
bahwa Tuhan itu yang memberikan pertumbuhan dalam setiap perkara.
That God gives growth in every single troubles that we have.
Dan kita nggak perlu sampai khawatir harus jadi frustrasi.
We don't have to be irritated or frustrated by anything.
Just conscious
Just be conscious
kalau kita selalu berada dalam favornya Tuhan.
that we are in God's favor.
Saya mau kasih sedikit kesaksian sebelum saya tutup.
So I will give a small confession.
Saya belum minta izin sama Andrea, tapi saya percaya dia mengizinkannya.
I haven't asked Andreas permission, but I guess he will.
Waktu 2 minggu atau 3 minggu yang lalu dia ada ujian matematika.
So 2 weeks ago she had a mathematics exam.
Terus karena dia itu Klassensprecherin, bicara wakil bicara dari kelas.
So because she is this leader, class leader,
Ya, juru bicara kelas
yeah,
gitu.
the spokesman for the
Jadi
class.
kadang-kadang dia nggak ada di tempat karena
But she's
mesti
not in
ikut
the
di
class.
rapat.
So she has always had to go to a meeting.
Jadi mungkin ada 1-2 pelajaran matematika yang dia miss.
So she might have missed 1 or 2 maths class.
Ya. Jadi waktu mau ujian itu
So during this exam, almost
dia ada gape yang dia nggak ngerti.
there's
Ada
this chapter or topic
Yeah.
that she did not understand.
dia tanya sama saya
She asked her.
juga nggak ngerti
She also didn't understand.
karena saya nggak dapet itu waktu di sekolah.
Because at school, she did not get that.
Dan saat itu juga besoknya saya juga mesti ujian.
And tomorrow, the day after, she had to
Saksinya
go.
adalah
Yeah.
Lulu dan Cevan yang ada di
So
rumah.
the witnesses, Chilulu and Zevanya, who was at home.
Lulu ya. Oke. Terus
Sister Lulu.
akhirnya saya cuma bisa bilang coba tanya sama gurunya
So all she could say was, try and ask the teacher.
dan teman-teman yang lain yang mungkin ngerti.
And ask her friends then who might understand.
Terus gurunya kasih email sama dia,
Then the teacher emailed her.
kan udah diajarin.
No, I already taught you guys. I
Jadi
already taught you.
masa gitu aja nggak bisa, kan udah
So why don't you
diajarin.
do it? I already taught you.
Terus tanya sama teman-temannya,
And then ask the friends.
seluruh kelas nggak ada yang ngerti.
And no one understands. Teacher's fault.
Oke, lalu saya cuma bilang sama dia gini, oke Andrea,
Then she says to Andrea, okay Andrea,
kita sekarang berdoa.
let's just pray.
Mungkin aja chapter ini nggak diuji besok.
Maybe this chapter will not be tested tomorrow.
Kita minta favornya Tuhan.
We ask for God's favor.
Oke.
Okay.
Dan besoknya dia ujian,
Tomorrow, the next day, she took the exam,
pulang sekolah,
went back home.
dan saya pulang ujian juga.
Also, she went back on her examination.
Saya tanya per telepon sama dia,
So then we called.
gimana Andrea?
So how was the exam, Andrea?
Bisa,
Can you do it?
bisa sih.
Yeah. Okay.
Terus kemarin yang chapternya itu keluar nggak?
And the chapter that you cannot do, did it come out?
Enggak.
No.
Terus di minggu berikutnya dia dapat hasilnya,
And the weeks after, she got the results back.
dia dapat nilai 1.
Okay. One. Cool.
Luar biasa. Jadi contoh kayak begitu yang membuat mata hati kita terbuka.
So these kind of examples open the eyes of our heart.
Tetap ada kita perlu favor Tuhan.
And we still need God's favor.
Dan karena Tuhan sayang sama kita,
Because God loves us,
kita anak-anaknya,
we are His children.
kita kekasih jiwanya,
We are His love.
kita pasti akan selalu mendapatkan favor itu.
We will always get His favor.
Saya juga bisa kasih kesaksian di pekerjaan.
I can also give confession from my workplace.
Kadang-kadang kalau udah jadi kadang-kadang kita perlu kerja keras untuk membuktikan bahwa kita bisa bekerja.
Sometimes we have to do the extra work so that we can show that we can do it. We can work more.
Saya banyak mengalami favor Tuhan dalam pekerjaan saya.
I have felt a lot of God's favor in my work.
Nah, saya tahu dokter itu punya keterbatasan,
And I know that the doctor can has his limits, her limits.
dan di saat-saat yang sangat genting,
And at like very critical moments,
saya cuma bisa berdoa dan saya bilang, Tuhan kasih saya favor Tuhan,
I can only pray and I can only ask for God's favor.
kasih saya hikmat.
Please give me wisdom.
Dan saya begitu banyak kali saya lolos dari hal-hal genting seperti itu
Sometimes I always get into this critical problems.
karena Tuhan yang kasih hikmat sama saya.
I can get out because God has given her
Dan
wisdom.
saya pada akhir hasilnya itu
And the final result is that
bisa melihat bahwa sebenarnya sih memang nggak bisa,
she can see that she cannot do it. She actually can't do it.
tapi karena Tuhan yang tolong saya maka bisa berjalan dengan baik.
But because God always helps her, she can manage to do it. She can always finish it.
Dalam pekerjaan saya juga
And also again in work.
mungkin karena saya muter sepraha, saya juga bukan bahasa Jerman.
Maybe because my mother tongue is not German.
Kadang-kadang saya kesulitan juga dalam sepraha.
I also have some difficulty in the language.
Toh kepala bagian saya menginginkan saya tetap bekerja di sini, di tempat saya bekerja.
Even still, my boss still wants me, my head of the department still wants me to work.
Ada banyak yang keluar masuk,
A lot of people have gone out and gone in.
overnya tinggi di pekerjaan
The
saya.
turnover rate at the workplace is very high.
Ada yang emang keluar sendiri,
There are those who quit,
ada yang dipecat,
those fired,
tapi saya dipertahankan tetap di situ.
but she is always kept there.
Sampai kemarin
Until yesterday,
saya karena masa waiter bilung saya udah selesai di situ.
water below is still there.
Ya,
Her water below is still
Yeah.
there. I don't know what it is.
saya mesti cari tempat lain untuk meneruskan waiter bilung saya.
So I have to look for a different place to look for this water below.
Saya nggak pernah punya masalah di situ,
I never have any problems here.
tapi terus ya karena favor,
Because of God's favor,
karena kasih anugerah Tuhan.
because of God's grace.
Kepala bagian saya bilang sama saya nggak boleh keluar dari situ.
So the head of division said, you cannot leave from this place. Okay.
Sampai ditawarin hal-hal yang sebenarnya nggak perlu saya lakukan.
And she was
Maksudnya
offered so much stuff.
kan saya ini jadi dokter yang mau jadi di bidang penyakit dalam.
So I want to be a doctor that deals with internal medication,
Ya, internal medicine.
internal medicine.
Sampai dia tawarin saya untuk dapat stella di bagian anestesi.
Until I got a contract, a job with anesthetics,
Supaya dia bisa tetap kerja di rumah sakit.
so that she can work in the specific
Ya saya bilang
hospital.
nggak nyambung sebenarnya.
But then she said, this is not connecting with what I'm
Ya,
doing.
tapi ya pokoknya intinya adalah
Anyways, the main point is that
kita bisa sampai sekarang saat ini, saya bisa sampai saat ini ada
she can be here right now
semua karena anugerah Tuhan.
because of God's
Dan
grace.
saya percaya semua dari kita,
Because everyone here,
entah kita yang belajar,
no matter where we're studying
entah kita yang bekerja,
or working,
semuanya itu dapat favornya Tuhan yang luar
everyone
biasa.
God's great, God
Dan
favor.
favornya itu akan berlaku terus sampai kita bertemu Tuhan.
The favor will always be there until we meet God again.
Amin.
Amen.
Yuk kita bangkit berdiri.
So let's stand up.